Hey everybody. Hopefully you're getting better at understanding political cartoons, but I'm here to help you if you need some help. I'm going to create this video to walk you through political cartoon challenge number 2. So make sure you've tried it on your own first. Again, very important that you try it and do your best because you're going to learn best when you make mistakes. So give it a try first and then come back here if you need help on any. Okay? So here we go. If you're already done with the political cartoon challenge, let's take a look at the first one. This is called "Hit Him Hard" by Grant Hamilton, February 4th, 1899. President McKinley is saying here, mosquitoes seem to be worse here in the Philippines than they were in Cuba. So as we kind of look at this political cartoon, the mosquito here has insurgent and aguinaldo on it, so it's referring to aguinaldoism and probably the independence movement of the Filipinos. Looks like there's another insurgent back here. It looks like all these are just insurgents, and um, and it kind of looks like it's expecting McKinley to take care of these mosquitoes here. Now, this is awfully big mosquito, but maybe just portrayed a little bit larger just so you can see him a little more clearly. This even says McKinley here, so this is talking about President McKinley. And so I would say this is definitely a pro-imperialist political cartoon. It is saying that he's going to have to deal with this problem of the insurgents and the problem of Aguinaldo, but we typically consider mosquitoes pests that can be easily dealt with, and so that's how I think they're being portrayed here. You still got to deal with them. Notice he's saying hit him hard, but as opposed to like a bear or a lion. If he was being attacked by a bear or lion, this story would be a little bit different here. But he's saying, okay, this can be a problem, and it's going to be much more difficult than things were in Cuba, but let's take care of it here. So I don't think it's saying we shouldn't be there or anything like that. It's definitely saying we got to be there, or we're going to have to deal with this nuisance here. Political cartoon number 2. He wouldn't take it any other way is the title. And as we look at what's going on here, we see the stripes. So it's probably Uncle Sam here. And Uncle Sam's got this bayonet pointed at, we're going to say this is a Filipino, is the indication here. It's a tropical island. So most likely the Philippines that we're dealing with. It's called Liberty and Civilization. At the end of the spear or at the end of the bayonet. And he wouldn't take it any other way means reading into that, it's like, look, we're offering you liberty and civilization, but you're not taking it. And so we're going to have to kind of force good things on you. We're going to have to force you to take liberty and civilization our way. Notice the Filipino is portrayed again kind of as this crazy-eyed, almost wild-looking, more animal than perhaps human. Um, Again, rather a racist stereotype that the author is using to portray the Filipinos here. And so I'm going to say this is more positive toward the United States and negative toward the Philippines, and saying, look, they need us to help them come along and become more civilized. So again, this racist idea that white civilization is superior to whatever civilization these people have, and so they have to be forced to become more like us. Hopefully that helps you answer the questions. Okay, next one. Okay, so we've got, again, this is Uncle Sam. You'll notice the striped pants, and he looks like he is he's throwing little soldiers that got US on them. Here it says Manila Imperfectos. Not quite sure what that is. Interestingly, we got a little guy with wooden shoes on here. The Dutch used to be kind of one of the groups. Boy, I'm not sure why they're using the Dutch here. Maybe because the Dutch controlled Indonesia at this point. They're going to see what we're going to do in the Philippines. I think the main point here is that Uncle Sam is throwing U.S. soldiers at, looks like a face here, and I believe this is Emilio Aguinaldo. It kind of is in like a old carnival game type thing. If you've been to a carnival or a fair, they've got all these games you can play, and they're really sometimes kind of hard to win because they're kind of rigged oftentimes, and so it's difficult. Notice here, Uncle Sam's having a little difficulty winning because there's a whole bunch of American soldiers kind of heaped up down here. So, in other words, he's spending a lot of American lives trying to win this game that he's playing with Emilio Aguinaldo here. The title of this is the game worth the candle, which is an old expression that, you know, if you had to play a game by candlelight, if it was a bad game, it wasn't worth the candle that you just had to waste. So is this game of imperialism and trying to win in the Philippines, is it worth the cost in American soldiers' lives? Is what the artist is going for here, I believe. Question 4. Liberty. So we're looking, this is Representative Lady Liberty here, kind of holding up her hand saying, "Stop this bloody work, Sam," referring to Uncle Sam here. "He is the one fighting for me." This over here appears to be a Filipino. He's got noticed like a very crude wooden sword here, kind of portraying the Filipinos as, you know, not as advanced as the United States, but in this case saying, hey, these are people that just want liberty, just want freedom. And so I think this one's fairly easy to understand here that this is a very pro-Filipino cartoon, and saying Uncle Sam knows Uncle Sam's sword is dripping in blood and he's got all these dead bodies behind him. And Liberty's saying, "Stop, enough. America, this is a cartoon that's negative about America's place and what they're doing in the Philippines." Next one, also a negative political cartoon towards America's involvement in the Philippines. It's called The Harvest of the Philippines. And a harvest is supposed to bring in good things, supposed to bring in the crops. But in this case, the crops happen to be a whole lot of dead Filipinos. And the United States is looking like this imperialist monster who is killing thousands of Filipinos. I don't think that needs any more explanation. Hopefully that helps you with that answer there. And then the final political cartoon question for challenge number 2. It says, title says, "Sam, look here, William," or Sam says, so it's Uncle Sam is saying, "Look here, William, where are we going?" So talking about William McKinley. Hey, Uncle Sam looks like he's blindfolded. He doesn't know where he's going. William McKinley here is leading the American people, or America, by the hand through the Filipino swamp. And William says, "I'm sure I don't know." Uh, One of those things you got to do when you read a political cartoon is who looks bad. So who looks bad here? Well, if you're guiding someone through a swamp and you don't know where you're going, that I would say that makes you kind of look bad. So McKinley looks bad, but it also kind of makes Americans look bad because you're letting this guy who doesn't know where he's going lead you blindly. So a little bit of negativity on both cases here by the author, I would say. So, all right. Well, hopefully you're getting better at this. Hopefully you found, you know what, yeah, I can do this political cartoon thing, Mr. Crandall. But if you're still struggling, please come in the mornings and get a little extra help from me. Have an awesome night.